Hey Mason Patriots, I'm Vincent Corbeau. Thank you for tuning in to Patriot News. I'll be your reporter today, along with Madeline, Miranda, and Simone, who also worked on this story. Today, we've come together to discuss the ongoing investigation of our very own Mason Pond. What we aim to answer is there a problem with pollution in our water? I think we all can agree Mason Pond is aesthetically pleasing. It definitely adds a different sort of beauty to campus. Depending on the season, you can catch sight of herons, kingfishers, chipmunks, ducks, squirrels, and many more. The wetland plants, animals, and insects are essential links to the lower parts of the food chain, which makes wetlands important for biodiversity. Another important function from wetlands is how they trap sediments, nutrients, and toxic chemicals that are produced by rainwater runoff, especially from construction and urban environments. Wetland plants are natural filters. Mason Pond ensures that runoff stays on Mason's campus rather than reaching the Chesapeake Bay. Believe it or not, Mason Pond is a man-made structure required for Virginia's best management program for water quality. During rainstorms, water retention ponds are less efficient at keeping back the pollutants. Dr. On's student-led rain project collected data on the pond and found that during storms, phosphorus levels are exceeding the retention pond. The RAIN project is preparing their floating wetland to see if they can uncover new strategies on making water retention ponds more efficient. With many impermeable surfaces like Lot K, parking garages, and other buildings and structures, the pond is the central location for water and the sediments and pollutants that it carries from these places. What is collected at Mason Pond is sometimes seen visually. As George Mason grows larger, the university is responsible for ensuring the campus meets its water quality requirements. However, the more construction there is, the greater chance Mason Pond's retention capability of pollutants is exceeded. The overflow will go directly into the Pohick Creek watershed, and thinking broader, the Chesapeake Bay watershed. With the many construction projects on campus, like the extension of the Fenwick Library and the new College of Health and Human Services building, there is an increased amount of potential pollutants that can flow into Mason Pond, and ultimately to the Chesapeake Bay. As we look further into this issue, there are other potential risks involved in water retention and keeping water clean for the greater Chesapeake Bay. Late last year, there was a major diesel gas spill at the central heating facility. Over 4,000 gallons of diesel fuel spat out of the reservoir during a routine gas refill. The agency involved in the cleanup claims that there seems to be no direct impact on the environment and the water system at George Mason. We recently took a closer look at the spill site and found an absorbent boom set in the waterway. The boom was set in place to absorb any diesel fuel or associated chemicals on the surface of the creek of the water from the spill. In the area lying before the boom placement, there is still a heavy, unnatural film setting on top of the water. It's evident that hazards to our water quality still exist. However, Mason is focusing on making sure another diesel spill won't happen again. As time goes on, the potential for another accident could still be likely. The greatest risk that is taken is by the lower parts of our food chain. We're not the only creatures that utilize this water source. These footprints were found just a few feet away from the film. As lower parts of the food chain are impacted most, it's hard to see the impact that is put on these water systems, especially as our modern lifestyles don't often connect with nature. The floating wetland designed by the RAIN project utilizes wetland plants at the surface of the water to absorb extra nutrients and move suspended solids to the bottom of the pond. Wetland plants are also known to absorb heavy metals. Ultimately, the RAIN project is testing to see if wetland plants are capable of absorbing the extra nutrients and pollution that leaves Mason Pond, especially during rainstorms, to help keep our water systems clean for the good of our ecosystem and our own well-being. That's all we have for now, Mason. Thanks for tuning in to Patriot Newscast, keeping you updated on all things Patriots.